you have been deceived. They instructed you to toil diligently, save modestly, retire at 65, and called this liberty. But if 4 decades of labor yield a pension too meager to sustain you, what is that? You were not born to serve until your final breath. You were not created to watch life slip by while trading your spirit for wages. The world does not honor the compliant. It rewards the one who sees the snare and escapes it. That journey starts here. Listen carefully, for if you miss this truth, you may labor until your grave and still die wanting. You think you are free. You believe hard work guarantees reward. You trust that after 40 years of loyalty, saving, and following the system, you'll claim your prize. But I tell you plainly, if 40 years of work ends in reliance on others, who truly owned your life? I've witnessed it too often. Men who gave their youth to a job, only to reach 65 with a weary body, trembling hands, and a fearful glance at their dwindling savings. They followed every rule, stayed silent, did as told, worked and waited. Yet when the waiting ended, nothing awaited them. I ask again, who owns the life of a man who surrenders it, paycheck by paycheck, only to die uncertain, unfree, and forgotten? Understand this, slavery has changed its guise, but never vanished. The chains are no longer iron, they are routine, debt, low expectations, and unexamined beliefs. You were told the system works if you obey it, but they didn't tell you it was. Never built to enrich you, it was designed to make you useful to another's fortune. I speak without softening my words. I'm not here to comfort you, I'm here to awaken you. Until you see the truth of your situation, you'll never walk free. You'll nod politely while wasting your years, calling it duty. You'll praise those who bind you, calling it work. You'll wait for a retirement that barely covers your rent, calling it security. This is not a tragedy, it's a choice, and it can be undone if you're bold enough to face it. In this speech, I'll share the principles the wealthy mastered while others slept. I'll reveal how Carnegie, Rockefeller, Schwab, Ford, and Lincoln rose from nothing, not by luck or favor, but by aligning with truth and following universal laws. You'll learn why labor alone will never liberate you, why retirement is a reward for the obedient, not the free, how schools shape workers, not owners, why a job is a temporary tool, not a strategy, how the rich follow unseen spiritual laws ignored by the poor, how your daily habits forge the prison you call life, why waiting is the enemy and action the cure, and how the one who refuses to serve becomes the one who leads. Answer these questions. What is my life truly creating? Have I mistaken compliance for purpose? Why have I delayed building wealth? What must I stop now? What must I do daily until my freedom is real? If you're honest, truly honest, you'll see you're not free. Not yet. But if you stay with me, listen to every word, and apply these teachings with precision, you'll no longer toil until death. You'll build a life that serves you. The chains are in your habits. The key is in your mind. This is your final warning before time decides for you. Affirm this aloud. I refuse to labor my life away and die poor. I was born to own, not obey. Let's begin. Part 1. Work alone will never liberate you. You've been taught to trust in labor. That hard work is the answer. That if you clock in, stay late, serve well, and keep quiet, you'll rise. But here's the truth. Work alone will never free you. You can trade your strength for another's dream for 40 years and still die nameless. You can give your best years to a factory, a company, an office, and still retire into scarcity, watching your calendar and wallet with equal dread. I don't oppose work, I oppose misplaced loyalty. A man who labors without thought is no better than a machine. A man without purpose is no freer than a beast of burden. And a man without ownership remains a servant, no matter the paycheck's size. Let me show you the difference between labor and wealth. Labor is bodily effort. Wealth is mental command. Most men sell their hours to another's vision because they never learned this law. Money follows thought, not time. A man can toil his whole life and be outdone by the thinker who builds a system. One man digs a ditch, another sells the shovel. Who grows rich? The poor man boasts of effort, saying, "I worked hard, I showed up daily." But he misses that. Rewards go not to the one who shows up, but to the one who creates leverage. Andrew Carnegie didn't just swing hammers in a steel mill. He built an empire, a system of processes, men and materials that multiplied while he rested. His ideas earned more than any day of labor ever could. That's the secret the worker never grasps. The mind is the true source of fortune, yet you were trained otherwise. From youth, you were taught to tie hours to income, to believe your value lies in time given. But time is the poor man's currency. You can never reclaim it. Every time you trade it for another's dream, you sell what's truly yours. Men were taught to work, not think, to obey, not build. And now they wonder why they labor a lifetime with nothing to show. It's not injustice, it's conditioning, and it must be broken. You cannot believe more effort brings more freedom. It won't. Freedom comes from ownership of thought, systems, and purpose. Until you stop working blindly and start working with intent, you'll trade your life for scraps. Listen closely. A man who never escapes hourly labor dies a servant, whether in a suit or swinging a hammer. If you trade time for pay without a greater plan, you're just a costlier slave. But there's a way out, a new law to follow, a new identity to forge, a firm with power. I do not sell my life for scraps. My work builds ownership, not dependence. This is the start of your liberation, but if you stop here, you'll slip back into the same cell. So let's move forward. Part 2, the retirement lie. A servant's reward. You were told to wait. Wait until your 60s, work in youth, save a little. Sacrifice today for tomorrow's joy. But when tomorrow arrives, you're exhausted, broke, and your freedom is a memory you never lived. Retirement is the lie they sold servants to prevent rebellion. The truth they hid is this: you're not saving for freedom, you're saving to delay collapse. The system assumes you'll obey until you're too weak to question it. They gave you just enough security to keep you from fleeing, just enough hope to keep you from asking, just enough fear to keep you working. I say, without apology, the man who waits until 65 to live was never truly alive. You think retirement is a reward? It's a leash. They call it a pension. I call it permission to survive. You weren't meant to reach your final years with dread in your heart and a calculator in hand. That's not freedom. That's a sentence. Your only crime was trusting a system never built to set you free. Let me show you how wealth works. Not the fantasy, but the formula. True wealth isn't saved, rationed, or handed out like a prize for obedience. It's built through value, the result of thought, decision, and the courage to step off the assembly line. Look at Henry Ford. He didn't save his way to millions or work for another until 65. He created systems that multiplied without him. He saw opportunity where others saw jobs. His wealth worked while he slept. That's the difference between the builder and the waiter. The builder lives now. The waiter dies hoping. You were taught delayed gratification is the key to success, but delayed vision is death. If your life is built around a reward that comes when you're too tired to enjoy it, you were deceived. Most men never reach retirement. They die still, on the wheel. The few who do arrive with a weak body, a light wallet, and a soul that's forgotten purpose. It doesn't have to be this way, but only if you break the lie today. Affirm with power, I do not wait for freedom. I build it now. I reject the retirement trap. My wealth begins today. Part 3, schools create workers, not wealthy men. You were trained, not educated, conditioned, not liberated. From your first day in school, They weren't preparing you to own your life. They were shaping you to serve another's. Schools don't produce creators. They produce cogs. Think, what did they teach you? Sit down, be quiet, memorize, repeat, obey. Raise your hand to speak, wait your turn. Follow rules, stay in line. Now ask, how many of these lessons appear in the lives of the rich? None. No. Man became free by following everyone's commands. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they broke the line, rejected the path laid out, thought, imagined, questioned, and moved with belief, not compliance. Thomas Edison was expelled from school, called unteachable, yet he brought light to the world, not through classrooms, but through belief, persistence, and vision. Ironically, the system that rejected him now teaches his name, but punishes his spirit. Schools don't teach wealth, imagination, or faith. They teach order, comfort, dependency. They train you to memorize scripts, not write your own. To become rich, you must unlearn the thinking that keeps you poor. Cast out beliefs planted by those who were never free. Question the path. Think for yourself. Ask, why was I taught to fear mistakes more than mediocrity? Why was I never taught to build income? Why were wealth's laws, faith, autosuggestion, desire, organized planning omitted from every curriculum? Because obedient workers don't need wealth. They need just enough to survive and keep showing up. This isn't an attack on learning, it's a war on indoctrination. Education liberates the mind, training chains the hand. To rise, retrain your thinking. Study what free men study. Speak like the man you aim to be, not the one you were trained to be. Ask questions they forbade. Who benefits from my obedience? Who profits from my delay? Who taught me my value lies in grades, hours, or approval? The moment you question, you start building your exit. You weren't born to follow instructions. You were born to give them. Affirm with certainty. I think for myself. I question the path I was given. I was born to command, not comply. Part 4. A job is a tool, not a destiny. Let's be brutally honest. A job is not freedom, not wealth, not a plan. It's a placeholder for the man who hasn't claimed his life. You were taught a job equals security, but it's a cage with polite walls. The world taught you to seek employment, not purpose, paychecks, not plans, survival, not abundance. A job may meet immediate needs, but cannot fulfill your true calling. Without a definite aim, a job becomes a coffin, a slow decay of potential. Disguised as duty, you wake, clock in, work, clock out, repeat, and forget you were meant for more. I don't say quit your job, but use it as free men use tools, as leverage, as funding for freedom, not its replacement. Edwin C. Barnes worked as a clerk, but with a vision to partner with Edison. He used his job to get into the room, proved himself, and left it behind forever. Wealth isn't built through repetition, but through intent, clarity, and strategy. The tragedy isn't hard work, it's work without direction, purpose, or ownership. A job is noble only when it funds your freedom. If you're still working to survive, you're not free. If you're hoping for a raise instead of building income streams, you're not free. If your days build another's dream while yours lies dormant, you're not free. But you can be. The door is open. Stop kneeling to the illusion of security and stand for the reality of ownership. Use your job, don't let it use you. Affirm with conviction. My job is not my identity, it is my tool. I use it to build freedom. Part 5. The rich follow. Spiritual laws: let others chase money, scramble for scraps, trade hours for coins, and sell their birthright for wages. You must grasp what they don't. Wealth's laws are spiritual before material. You cannot rise until your mind rises. You cannot earn until you believe you're worthy. You cannot command until you obey the laws governing riches, not man's laws, but those woven into the universe's fabric. Break these laws, and money will break you. Obey them, and the world yields. You were told money comes from effort. I Say it comes from alignment. Align your thought with belief, belief with words, words with action, action with plan. This is law, this is power. Look at the wealthy who built their fortunes. Rockefeller tithed not from superstition, but from principle, treating money as stewardship, building his empire on internal discipline. Carnegie surrounded himself with greater minds, obeying the mastermind principle of unity and mental harmony. Edison held the vision of electric light before it existed, walking with faith in a definite aim. Faith isn't religion, it's power. It's seeing the invisible as real, holding your vision so fiercely the world must obey. Auto-suggestion isn't foolish repetition, it's mental programming. Your subconscious executes what you tell it with emotion. Speak defeat, delay, weakness, and you order poverty. Speak belief, wealth, clarity, and you order victory. Wealth responds to organized defense. Write your aim, write your steps, review daily, adjust, attack again. These, faith, definiteness, repetition, planning, are spiritual. Before they manifest a dollar. The poor man works harder yet stays poor because he labors with muscle, while the rich work with mind. One sweats without direction, the other thinks with precision. Master these laws, definite chief aim, faith through autosuggestion, organized. Planning the mastermind, cosmic habit force rewarding rhythm, not randomness. Break them and life breaks you. Obey them and the world yields. Live by inner command. Rise before the world. Speak your aim aloud. Write your instructions. Build rhythm into every hour. This isn't fluff. It's the foundation of empires. Riches reward obedience to law, not effort. Affirm daily. My habits build freedom or chains. Each day, I command myself into power. Part 6. Habits forge. Financial slavery or freedom. To understand slavery, stop looking at chains and examine habits. No man wears shackles on his wrists. He wears them in his routines. Modern slavery isn't enforced by force, but by familiarity, repetition, and misaligned rhythm. You rise, eat, labor, rest, and call it life. But is it yours, or one designed by others who profit from your blindness? The modern slave is bound by a cycle that, unless broken, carries him to the grave with only obedience and exhaustion to show. What time do you wake? What thought enters your mind first? Do you begin with self-instruction or follow the world's? When your body rises but your purpose sleeps, you're already a servant. You cannot live like a common man and expect uncommon results. You cannot drift into fortune or wander into mastery. Command requires rhythm, the right rhythm. The poor man wakes late, eats thoughtlessly, consumes without producing, reacts without thinking, and repeats the same aimless day year after year. This is the habit system of financial slavery. It feels normal because it's widespread, but widespread slavery is still slavery. Compare this to the wealthy who built their fortunes. Carnegie rose early, issued orders, planned his day, spoke his aims aloud, reviewed progress daily. Schwab mastered organized rhythm. Every hour had purpose. Every night was measured. Edison's repetition was rhythmic, aimed, not random. Audit your habits. Do you eat like a rich man? Not food, but thought. Do you consume knowledge that builds your aim or distractions that destroy it? Do you speak with clarity and purpose, or drift in complaint? Do you move with a mapped day, tracked progress and actions serving a vision? Your habits are your destiny. Here's the wealth-building rhythm. Morning command. Rise early. Speak your aim aloud. Read your plan. Repeat affirmations with emotion. Midday alignment, review progress. Affirm, I am on target, my aim is fixed. Correct drift with focused action. Evening review, measure what was done. Journal lessons. Repeat your aim before sleep. Visualize success. Repeat daily without fail. This reprograms your subconscious, the builder of results. Most fail not from lack of intelligence, but lack of rhythm. The law of cosmic habit force. Rewards repeated thought and action. Form the habits of wealth and wealth follows. Affirm, my habits build freedom or chains. Each day I command myself into power. Part 7. If you wait, you serve those who didn't, a sobering law few face. He who waits serves the one who acts. The world never rewards hesitation or crowns the cautious. It yields to the man who moves. Wealth doesn't come to the brilliant, good, or hopeful. It comes to the one who steps into the storm, decides under pressure, and claims his share while others hesitate. You think life will wait? It won't. The man who delays becomes the laborer for the one who didn't. Abraham Lincoln understood this. In his darkest hours, he acted, issuing the Emancipation Proclamation when it was necessary, not safe. He created clarity through decision. Most men don't fail from wrong moves. They fail from no moves. They wait for the economy, the perfect plan or courage. But waiting is backward movement. Every day you delay, another acts, builds, claims what you forfeited. Your delays become your chains. The rich know patience without action is paralysis. Carnegie moved to organize steel when others feared risk, or dared to mass produce when mocked. Edison declared inventions before they worked. Movement precedes manifestation. What are you waiting for? A better economy? Someone's building their own. More knowledge? Someone with less is building more. Wealth, courage, it's not felt, it's decided. If you wait, you'll work for the man who didn't. Your children will serve his children. Your dream will be built by another without your name. The world's law is movement. Those who don't move are trampled. I speak to awaken you. The time is now. Affirm, I act while others wait. My speed creates my freedom. Move, decide, build, part. 8. Refuse to serve. Become the commander. All truths lead to one conclusion: identity. No change in habits, income, or environment lasts until you transform who you are. The world obeys the man who commands, not the one who performs. And no man commands until he refuses to serve, not service to others, but servitude to fear, routine, wages, and mental chains. The man who wakes to serve another's vision, who never writes his own aim, who waits for orders, who drowns in tasks without purpose. He is not free, not fulfilled, not the master, but he can transform. The line between labor and leadership is self-command, not emotion, wish, or effort, but command. Master yourself and the world adjusts. The market makes room for your value. People align with your belief. Money flows to your aim because you move toward it without hesitation. You can die a laborer or rise a leader. The difference is thought, discipline, decision. You weren't born to work, you were born to build. Not to be instructed, to direct, not to comply, to create. What must you do? First, write your definite chief aim now. Decide who you are, what you demand, how you'll serve through purpose. Make it clear, bold, written. Second, build daily. Command. Don't trust motivation, trust repetition. Read your aim aloud each morning. Speak your belief in your wealth, power, identity each night. Shape your subconscious into the commander. Third, build income streams. One stream keeps you serving. Create value. Use your mind, not just time. Let labor fund freedom, not replace it. If you doubt this path, know I walked it. Born to a poor miner in Virginia, I had no inheritance, no connections. But I had a voice, a mind, a decision to refuse poverty, ignorance, and inherited chains. I studied the spiritual roots of Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, Edison. They mastered themselves, decided, acted, repeated, and became undeniable. I advised millionaires, built a legacy, passed down a system of transformation. So can you. Refuse to live powerless. Refuse to wake without aim. Refuse to sell your time for scraps. Refuse to think small, move slow, act weak. Refuse to die without building something unforgettable. You're not here to serve fear or obey mediocrity. You're here to command. Affirm your oath. I will not be a slave to any man. I was born to command wealth, not work until death. Walk, speak, build, live. As the man you were meant to be. This is your beginning. This is your freedom. This is your law.